Hey everyone, I'm back with another animal facts video, and I have one of my favorite lizards of all time, the Sudan plated lizard, also known as an African plated lizard or giant plated lizard. Now, these are a super cool lizard that comes from the eastern parts of Africa, Ethiopia down south into southeastern Africa. These guys prefer steppes or plains, basically really dry kind of arid areas with lots of rocky outcrops and kind of sparse vegetation. Their bodies are perfectly built for this type of area. They have these stout little legs which are actually very powerful and can make them very fast. If they see a predator, they can easily take off running and duck down into rocky crevices. Now there's a couple different things they do in this instance. One, they'll take off running super fast, then stop, and they'll pull their tail up to confuse their predator. A lot of times it just throws them off, makes them stop directly in their tracks. Then they can duck into a rocky crevice where their keeled scales help keep them safe. So keeled scales don't lay flat like a lot of scales do. They typically have a ridge that goes through them. They even get raised up a little bit. Basically, they create armor across his body. So what happens is he gets in these crevices, and as like say a bird or a mammal's getting in there trying to scratch him out, they end up hitting these hard scales which just act as a shield. This guy is basically a walking tank. It's very, very hard for any predator to get after him. Now, most lizards aren't very social. They come together in breeding colonies, or they'll get together where there's a lot of food. Plated lizards really aren't that different. When you keep them at home, you can keep them as a social lizard, or you can keep them solitary. They'll do fine either way. He lives with a cage mate, and he actually had 2 cage mates at one point until we sold one of them. But right now he's in with a female, and they do perfectly fine. They don't fight for food. They don't fight for territory. Now, if there was another male in there, it'd be a different story. He would fight for territory. I know he's a male because there's major sexual dimorphism between them. Sometimes we can look at femoral pores, which, these guys don't really have. Not necessarily. Theirs are, you can kind of see here, they aren't the raised pores like you'd see on a bearded dragon. They actually have these, I know, buddy. I'm just trying to show them something. I know. So you can kind of see right there where my fingers are, the pores look a little clogged, which they can come unclogged themselves or you can pull them out. But mainly what I look at is size differential. If I have a dull looking one that's mainly grayish brown, most likely it's a female and she's going to be smaller than him. Also, males are known for having like some bright colors underneath them. So he's got some really good turquoise going underneath his chin and along his mouth line. Then of course he's got reds and oranges, yellows and golds built all through there. These guys can make a really, really great pet. They're a little bit skittish at first, but the more you work with them, the better off they are. You've probably noticed in my other videos, if you've been watching, I tend to be very open-handed with lizards. That depends on the lizard. If I have something that's really wily or something I think can get a hold of me or bite, I will do the normal reptile grab of pinning here, getting my fingers behind there, or doing the same thing from below and holding them. I've built up some trust with this lizard. He's pretty good with me. So I just use the open hand method, let him pick and choose kind of where he wants to go. If I need to pin him down, I will, but for the most part, I just kind of let him walk and do his thing. I just kind of transfer from hand to hand by letting him do this. You also notice I always kind of keep him up high. I keep him close to eye level or a little bit higher. This allows him to kind of survey the land and feel like he has more options. If I start to move him down below, he's going to start to feel a little bit more tense. Now, this is also an omnivorous lizard. So despite the fact that they live in a very arid type of area, these guys do enjoy veggies. So in captivity, we feed them mixes of like collard, mustard, turnip, radish, dandelion green. You can throw some endive or bok choy in there every once in a while. I like to use some rooty vegetables like sweet potato and carrot, but kind of sparingly. They're high in sugar. But I will do zucchini, summer squash, parsnip, and beet. Basically, I mix all those together. I do about a 60 to 70% dark leafy green to like 30 to 40% of the root veggie. I will mix fruit in for a lot of my reptiles, but not these guys. If I do it, that's like a treat maybe like once a month where I might give them like half of a strawberry or something. They're just not used to that type of sugary thing or that much sugar in general. For a lot of arid reptiles, if you're looking for a good treat, often I'll recommend prickly pear. Different type of cactus flowers, hibiscus flowers, things like that. They're sweet, but they're not overly sugary. It's something that can naturally come in their environment. So that's it for this plated lizard. Hope you guys learned a little bit about them. As always, if you like this channel, hit subscribe, send links to people, and same way I end every video. If you got some cool facts about them or you think I messed something up, let me know. I don't believe that any person is 100% an expert. I believe we can all learn from one another. So if you've got some cool plated lizard facts, go ahead and drop them in the comments. Let's share that knowledge and let's educate people. I love teaching people about animals. So hope you had a good time. Hope you learned a lot. And yeah, that's it for Carl here. So have a good night.